All right, let's talk about something that sits at the very heart of medicine. Something that can be, well, terrifying. We're talking about uncertainty. We tend to think of it as a failure, right? Like science just hasn't figured it out yet. But what if it's not a bug, but a feature? What if embracing uncertainty is the key to finding much deeper, more meaningful kind of hope? Let's dive in.
Okay, picture this. A patient, just out of surgery for lung cancer. The physical part is starting to heal, but inside, their world is just spinning. They look at their doctor, and the questions just pour out. Is the report good or bad? What are the odds it comes back? Give me a number. You can hear the urgency in their voice. What they're really searching for, more than anything, is certainty. Some solid ground to stand on. And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? As this doctor of 20 years put it, it's like patients are asking for a quality assurance seal on their life. Think about it. Illness just throws a wrench into everything. Your whole life schedule, the plans you made, it's all up in the air. So you turn to the doctor hoping they can hand you a new, reliable timetable and promise you the tracks ahead are clear.
But here's the thing. Maybe, just maybe, medicine's biggest secret is that it can't offer that kind of certainty. And this is a huge idea coming from doctors on the front lines. The point isn't to pretend uncertainty doesn't exist, to try and stamp it out. The real goal is to look it right in the eye, acknowledge it's there, and then work together to make the absolute wisest decisions we can, right in the middle of it all. So why all this uncertainty? I mean, we have amazing technology, right? Well, it really comes down to how we think about the human body. And there's a fantastic metaphor that changes everything, thinking of the body as a rainforest. For the longest time, the go-to comparison for the body has been a computer. If something's wrong, there must be a bug in the code, and a doctor can just go in and fix it. Simple, direct, predictable. But it's just not right. The body isn't a machine built with code. It's so much more like a rainforest, this incredibly complex, dynamic ecosystem where a million different things are interacting all at once. It's messy, it's interconnected, and it's anything but simple. And if you follow this rainforest idea, it all starts to click into place. Your genes, that's the soil you're starting with. Your lifestyle, what you eat, how you live, that's the climate. So a disease isn't some broken part. No, it's more like a drought or a flood or maybe an invasive species that's throwing the whole ecosystem out of whack. And this completely changes what a doctor is. They're not a mechanic with a toolkit. They're an ecologist, carefully studying the environment and trying to figure out how to help restore that delicate balance. Okay, so if doctors are ecologists, what's their main tool? It's not a wrench, it's statistics, it's probability. And while that's incredibly powerful, it also creates this really difficult, really human conflict. You could even call it the tyranny of probability. So a doctor sits you down and says, look, based on studies with thousands of people, this treatment has an 80% chance of success. That number, 80%, is solid. It's based on data, it's objective, it's the most honest information science can give us. It's a huge number. It sounds pretty good, right? But here's the tyranny part. For you, the individual, the outcome is never 80%. It's either 100%, it works, or it's 0%, it doesn't. There's no in between. And when you or someone you love ends up in that other 20%, the big reassuring statistics suddenly feels abstract, cold, and honestly pretty cruel. And it's so important to remember that doctors feel this tension too. They live with this every day. They're not all-knowing gods who can decide which group you'll fall into. They're more like experienced guides in a really thick fog. They've been on this path before, and their job is to hold up a lantern, show you the potential ways forward, and help you navigate the risks and benefits at every single step. So if we can't have absolute certainty, then what's left? What's the answer? Well, it's not a new drug or technology. It's a new kind of relationship, a new doctor-patient alliance. And this model is called the Anti-Enemy Alliance. I love this idea because it totally reframes the whole dynamic. It's no longer the patient on one side of the desk and the doctor on the other. Instead, they come around to the same side, standing shoulder to shoulder. Now they have a common enemy, the disease and the uncertainty that comes with it. Building this alliance really comes down to three big mindset shifts. First, you just have to accept that uncertainty is a fundamental part of life. Once you do that, you can shift the goal. It's not about chasing a perfect outcome anymore. It's about making the wisest shared choice together. And when you do those two things, the third one becomes possible. You get to redefine what hope even means. So what does shared decision actually look like? Well, it's basically a fusion of two different kinds of experts. You've got the doctor, who is the expert on the medicine, the facts, the options, the pros and cons. That's the what. But then you have the patient, who is the world's leading expert on their own life, their values, what they hope for, what they're afraid of, their tolerance for risk. That's the what matters to you. You bring those two experts together, and that's how you find the best way forward.
And that brings us to that third and maybe most important shift, redefining hope. Because let's be honest, when a cure seems out of reach, it's so easy to feel like hope is gone too. But this alliance model pushes us to ask a really powerful question. What does hope look like now?
Hope starts to look different. It becomes about the here and now. Maybe hope is just getting through today without pain. Maybe it's having enough strength to sit down for dinner with your family. Or maybe it's just a peaceful night's sleep. This is where medicine goes beyond just curing and becomes about caring. Hope isn't some distant thing anymore. It's found in dignity, in comfort, in the power of just listening, in a warm handshake. So we've gone from the body as a rainforest to building this powerful new alliance, and it all leads us to one last really beautiful idea. You don't fight uncertainty, you don't beat it into submission, you learn to move with it, you learn to dance with it.
And this is really the whole takeaway, isn't it? That life isn't some war you're supposed to win. It's a dance. And your partner for the whole song is uncertainty. Sometimes it'll lead, sometimes you will. Sometimes the rhythm changes unexpectedly. And your job isn't to know all the steps ahead of time. It's impossible. Your job is to just stay on your feet and respond to your partner with as much grace and courage as you can. So in this dance, what's the doctor's role? Well, they can't promise you a perfect performance. They can't guarantee you won't miss a step. But they can make a different kind of promise. A much deeper one, actually. It's not a promise of a specific outcome, but a promise of presence. And this right here, this is the ultimate promise of that alliance. It's the doctor saying, I can't predict every turn the music will take, but I promise to be your partner through it all. I'll use everything I know to help you keep your balance. I'll offer a steady hand when you falter, and I will stay with you, right by your side, until the very last note. And you know what? In a world of uncertainty, that promise, that is a kind of certainty we can all hold on to.